Hello everybody, this is Oksana Rudko and this is my brand of knitted bags La Accessory. In this video lesson I'm going to show you how to make such a combo of two bags. It is MON BLANC. I show you several options and I give you several options to choose the material to make it of. And two options of a shape. It is the same bag, but one is trapeze up, the other is trapeze down. Then the second thing is that these bags have an inner clutch bag. I'll show you like this. You see, the clutch can be a separate bag or can be just such an inner part of a bigger bag. So now, as to the sizes and materials that you will need, I will show you separately each one so that you can choose or even make both. And we'll give you all the details for both options for raffia and polyester cord, so you have option in material. So first of all, I've made this bag. It's wine color, it's raffia. And here I have such a clutch. And now I'll tell you everything in detail. So the width of such bag, measuring it here, is 46 centimeters on the upper edge. The height here is 25 centimeters. The bottom is 14 centimeters. Leather handles were created especially for this bag. It has a shape of a leaf, which shows the texture really nice. The handles are 80 centimeters with a filler. We have a bottom that has an additional layer that makes it thicker, and so that you can use something valuable in this open bag without a zipper, I decided to add a clutch. It is about 30 centimeters and 20 centimeters in height. Also here we have a double bottom and a really interesting magnetic button, even two magnetic buttons. Inside I'm going to add a lining a little bit later. It's not ready yet, but you see here we have a plastic canvas and I'll show you everything step by step how to make it and how to sew in the lining. You can wear this as a separate bag, like a small clutch, or you can use it like such an inner part in a bigger bag. This one made of polyester cord, 3 millimeters. It is slightly bigger. Its dimension is 25 centimeters height, but its width is 52 centimeters. So here, if you are a little bit experienced in crocheting, you can make your own calculations if you want to change the size, if you want to make it smaller or bigger. Here it also features a small clutch, which I have decorated with such metal things on the side so that I can attach this chain. And also it has magnetic buttons so that you can hide something more precious inside, and also a plastic canvas, and we will add a lining later. This piece is 32 centimeters, slightly longer, and the height here is 18 centimeters, slightly smaller, vice versa. And so it also can be used as a separate crossbody or as an inner part for this bigger bag. So as we go, I will show you everything step by step, both inner and outer bag. How to first, I'll show you how to make a bottom, how to work with raffia and with cord, and then base, then handles, and the inner clutch. So then I'll show you the materials that you will need for this bag, some tools, and we can jump right into it. So as to the materials, here I have two sets of raffia and cord. I just don't have a fabric for the lining, I'll get it a little bit later. So the basic materials for the raffia bag is ISP raffia. Here I have retro blue color. We will need 5 skeins of raffia. 3.5 for the bigger one and a little bit more than 1, approximately 1.5 for the smaller clutch. As to the cord, if you choose the cord alternative, you will need 10 skeins for shopper and for the clutch together. So for the bigger one, about 7 skeins and 3 for the clutch. This is chocolate color. It's polyester cord, soft, from raffia Kiev. It is thinner and I mean it is lighter than the same ones in such size. It's really nice to work with. It's elastic. So then you can buy such special handles that were worked especially for this bag, or you can use any other handles, of course, if you like. These handles were created especially for this bag with such a long leaf here. So you'll need 2 leather handles. The size you will find in the description. It will be attached down below. Here I have a jeans and chocolate color. Now, plastic canvas can be bought in any DIY shop. Here we'll need quite a lot for the bottom. We will need, let me see, 4 pieces for each. A big piece for the bottom of the bag, that is 14 to 37 centimeters. Maybe slightly smaller, we will cut it, yeah, just for approximately. And 3 smaller pieces, 25 centimeters by 2 or 4 centimeters. So all this I will write down in the description so that you can go there and see how much you need. And of course, the must-have are such magnetic buttons. Here I have nickel color and there I have golden color. Because I have golden tags, I think it will look fine together. And if you want to attach, let's say, such a chain or whatever you want to attach, just for example, I'll show you, then you will need some lobster clasps or rounded clasps like this, a small diameter, about 20 millimeters will do, or such metal pieces that you can also use for attaching the chain. It's just like an alternative. And then we will make a lining for the clutch, but not for the bigger bag, of course. As to the fabric, which will be suitable for the lining, is cotton, satin. It can be anything that is usually used for lining, staple, linen, all the fabrics that are usually used for the lining. Now, these are the main materials. Now, as to the tools. The tools that you will need, let's start with crocheting hooks. These are 3.5 and 4 millimeters. Number 2 I just took in case, 3 millimeters I took in case for hiding the free ends, maybe something additional. 3.5 and 4 I will tell you when to use them for some special things. For raffia it will be 3.5, for cord maybe you will need to use a thinner one. Then you'll need some markers, some knitting markers to mark, measuring tape, of course, a ruler, maybe some sewing pins for the lining, for sewing the handles, big and small scissors for fabric and for cutting the free ends. You'll need a lighter so that you can burn the ends of the cord if you are using polyester cord. And then to hide the ends in raffia I use glue. So if you are using raffia you'll need some glue. It can be any moment glue. And of course a needle and some thread in matching color to sew the ends, to sew the lining, and to sew the handles. So these are the main materials. And now we can start making the bottom, and step by step. So bags are going to be in two absolutely different materials. One of them is raffia. I'm going to use ISPI raffia, retro blue color. This raffia is similar to tissue paper. Like this, I'll show you. So this is, if I unfold it, you see it's very thin raffia. I recommend you to open it like this, and only after this work with it. We can use iron for this or do this by hand like this, and then polyester cord, soft. This line of a soft polyester cord, I like it because it is very soft and light. It's not so heavy as the similar ones in this width. It's chocolate color. It is such a knitted cord, slightly elastic but not very much, and it doesn't have a filler. Pay attention, it doesn't have a filler. It's really easy to work with it, and it's much easier than working with raffia. But now, how I'm going to show you the video masterclass. Base part will be with raffia, yeah, because I'm going to show you more details as it is more complicated. But all the moments that I have to talk through with cord, I will just add and show you that if you are working with cord, then do this and that, so that you can understand everything as you go. So, and we'll start with raffia, and then I will show you how we work in cord. So raffia, before we start working with it, has to be made a wet heat for. I prefer to do it part by part, so I do not make a wet heat for all the skein. So I'll take about 30 to 50 meters. So I will make a wet heat and then return it back on the spool, and then again make a wet heat. So how do I make this wet heat? To make a wet heat, you can use either iron or steam generator, and I also have such holder. It's really easy. You can go without it, of course, but it's really easy to use it if you need to take some part of raffia. Like, for example, now I'll take a little bit, about 30 to 50 meters approximately. And then I'll show you how I make the wet heat. I'm going to use such a steam generator, but actually it is absolutely the same if you have an iron with steam or such a steam generator as I have. Both options are absolutely okay because they have steam, and that is what you need. So you don't need to buy a steam generator, just use your iron. So as you see, I have this amount of raffia, and I turn the steam on. Just let's give it a minute, like this, so that I soak all the raffia with steam, like this. Take your time, and you'll see how the raffia starts opening like this. It will be puffier, and it will be easier to work with it. Not all the raffia is the same. Sometimes it opens better, sometimes it opens worse, so you have to do it by hand. It depends on the raffia you have. And so like this, we make wet heat for the raffia. Then I'll return it back and we'll be working with it as always. So like this, you can take your time, wait while it will open on its own. Now it has dried, and now I can continue working. I return it back on the spool here. After this, we can work. Of course, it's a little bit a time-consuming thing, but Believe me, it will make your stitches much better. Now I have returned raffia, and you see that if it's not open enough, then you can open it by hand like this. Some raffias open better, some others may open worse, so it depends on the material. So I prefer to give it some time, but have a better result. It's up to you. You can go without opening it like this by hand if you don't want to. Just enough to do a wet heat, and it will also be okay. So in my bag, I'm going to work according to centimeters, not according to the stitches. So for you, it will be much more important to get the right size than to get the right number of stitches. Because you might have a slightly different gauge or slightly different material. So 1 or 2 centimeters plus minus will be okay if you have slight differences. If you want to make it exactly as I do, you can always make your own calculations if you have a different material. So I take 3.5 millimeters crocheting hook, and we start making a sample. So the bottom is going to have such dimensions: 13 to 37 centimeters. 13 to 37. That is the first piece for the bottom, because we are going to have 2 pieces for the bottom, one with the trimming and one without the trimming. So these are the measurements without the trimming, so that you get this size. You need to calculate how many stitches you need to make. So that you know how many stitches you need with your material and your gauge, you need to make a sample, then measure the sample, make your calculations. I'll show you everything, and I'll show you how we're going to work our main pattern. That's going to be a thick single crochet, so I'll show you how to make it thicker than ordinary single crochet. I'll use it for bottoms. So we start with a 0 stitch, put short end on top of the long one, cross it like this, hold it with my fingers here, insert the hook, and start casting on like this. Working thread is on my index finger, and I tighten this first knot, which is not a stitch yet, it's just such a 0 knot. So now we need to cast on 10 stitches plus 1 lifting chain. So I cast on 11. Do not tighten the stitches because it will be difficult to work with them. So you need to have some space here. And so, like this, inserting the hook from below, like this, we are grabbing working thread and casting on the chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's it. Let's check. We can count the braids. Here, 1, this one, this is a 0 knot. We don't count it. We start counting here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And the loop on the hook we do not count. Then we turn our work this way with the back side towards us, so that we see these back half loops, these ones, and now we are going to work into them. So the first stitch we skip, this one, it's under the loop on the hook, we don't work it, and we insert the hook into the next one. So here, insert the hook, On that other side you have a braid, full 2 half loops. You don't use them, you use the back half loop. You make a loop, this loop is slightly longer. We have 2 loops on the hook, and we grab the working thread and make a stitch. So the first single crochet is ready. And we find the next one. If you can't see where they are, turn it back like this. You'll see the braids, it's easier to see them and count them. Then turn back and you will see where you have the back half loops of those braids. Like this, insert the hook into the next one. Like this. Then grab the working thread, make it slightly longer, grab the working thread and make a single crochet. Then again, insert the hook into the next. Don't skip them. Try to work all the stitches, make a loop and then work 2 together so that you make a single crochet. So we have already made 3 stitches. The next one, insert the hook, make a loop, and now you have 2 loops on the hook, work 2 together. So you see, the stitches are quite big. And insert the hook into the next one, grab working thread. So you see that this loop, second one, is longer than the first one. Grab the working thread and work 2 together. And so like this, we need to work each half loop, last one, of course, 2. The first row I'll make it on camera and then you can continue working like this. So in each stitch I make, in each half loop I make a stitch. These are single crochets. One before the last. Ready? And again, the last one. The last half loop. Have a look here. You may easily skip it because it is slightly hidden here. Try not to skip it. Count your stitches. This half loop is exactly above this knot here. Insert the hook into the half loop, grab the working thread and make a nice stitch. And make this one slightly longer. So how do we count how many stitches we have? We'll have 10. We count on top braids. 1 here. 1. This one is not a stitch, that's a vertical one, so we count only horizontal braids. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and the loop on the hook is not a stitch, we don't count it. Return the hook. Now these loops that are on the hook can be slightly shorter, and then the one you grab after this is bigger. A chain is always at the beginning of a new row. Turn our work, and now I will show you that we will make thicker single crochets now. So as we have turned it this way, we need to put it horizontally like this. Turn it and then put it horizontally because we are going to work into parallel half loops, these ones. Now I'll show you. This will be thick single crochets. So we have braids here on top, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on, and then we have these ones below, you see? So we have 2 rows of braids, and we need to use each half loop. So we'll use 1 half loop of this lower row of braids, and then we will use a half loop from the upper row of braids. And like this, between them, we will be making the single crochets, like this. You see, I have inserted the hook through both half loops into these 2 half loops. Grab the working thread, pull it as always, slightly longer, Then make a single crochet. First stitch is ready. Then the second, again find one half loop on this and on that row. Those rows are parallel. So one from here, one half loop from there, and make a single crochet. Again, insert the hook into the second half loop, make a loop, and work a single crochet. Then one, the second, then make a stitch. And the next braid. So for you, the most important thing is to learn to see these half loops. You see two parallel lines of these chains. At the end it will be difficult, but I'll tell you how to make it. Upper, lower, and like this, pierce it and make a single crochet. So now I'll make a zoom in so that you can see it better. So we find one half loop on the lower row of braids and one half loop from the upper row of braids. They are parallel to each other, like this. You see, lower braid, upper braid, use only one half loop from one and from the other, pierce it through, and make a stitch. And so like this we go on working till the end of the row. Here you'll also have 10 single crochets. At the very end we have two, you see, two braids left. Here 1, 2, 1, 2 on both sides. So count now 1 on one side and 1 on the other side. This is the one before the last stitch. Bear this in mind that you have to make one more, and now the loops that you make are almost the same, yeah, more or less the same. And then the last two, they are slightly tighter, so you may skip them, but be careful, don't skip any of the stitches. So you find these last two half loops on one side and on the other side. They may be closer to each other than ordinary ones. You just need to pay attention and to make them right. Grab your working thread and make likewise the single crochet. So you'll get 10 stitches. You can count these braids. The first one can be hidden slightly behind this one, so find it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 10, this one, and I do not count this one on the hook. Then we make a chain. Each time, don't forget, at the beginning of the row we make a lifting chain. So turn, you have to turn it right, like this, horizontally, because here again we are going to work in two rows of half loops. One row is below and one row is above. Here we can see these half loops which we are going to use. So we are going to use parallel half loops likewise into this half loop on top and into the one next to it, and make a single crochet. Then next one here, pay attention that this one we have already worked. So if you are not experienced in working with raffia, it seems to you that you have to work it here, but it's not right, because you have already worked this loop. So pay attention, you have already worked this loop, you take the next one here. If you see that you've made a mistake, just you can start again. The next one here and the next one there, and again one half loop here and one half loop there, and again make single crochets till the end of this row, like this. Here. And so like this we go on working till the end of this row. Working into two half loops, one on one side and one on the other. Here we have two, one, you see, and the second. The second one is slightly hidden, so pay attention, don't skip it. It's hidden here, but it's there nevertheless. So you see, this way. You will learn to see it when you get a little bit more experience. Now one before the last, and the last stitch as well. Here they are very close one to the other. One of them is slightly hidden, so make the last stitch. Make a lifting chain and turn your work. Well, I'll undo the lifting chain count before you've made the lifting chain. You have 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's right. Now you can make a lifting chain and start the next row. And so likewise, we turn to the other side and again work into two rows, one half loop from one row and one half loop from the other row. And so like this, we continue working our sample. You just need to turn the row all the time, make a lifting chain, and make a row of 10 single crochets. This pattern is really thick and allows you to create something that will keep the shape perfectly. With raffia it gives a thickness, with a cord it allows you to make something really stiff. And so like this, go on working the sample. So now we will make several rows more. Then I'll show you how to count the rows. And then we'll be able to make our calculations. Now I will finish this row and then show you how to count your rows. Last two stitches, here they are, slightly hidden on this side. And here is the one opposite it. Grab this and make a stitch. So now how you can count? No, let's count the stitches first. You have counted, you have 10, then you make a lifting chain and continue working. So to count the rows here, actually you can count them on any side, but they are the same on both sides. You have to bear in mind that if you look from this side, we have one row and then the second. Right? Between them you have such horizontal half loops. But on this side, they look like 1 second and half of the third row. So on this row, you can't see it, you see only 2. On this side, you see 2.5 rows. Bear in mind that these rows are double. So we work according to the centimeters, according to the size that we need. So here you don't have to count the rows actually, because I'm not going to tell you the number of the rows. I'm going to tell you the number of centimeters that you need to get. So work several rows more so that you can count and see your measurements. Go on working next rows. Several rows more will do, according to the same principle. Then I'll show you how to count the gauge, how to make your calculations, and start making the bottom for the bag. And so like this we continue working the rest of the rows here. If need be, you can watch this video again to get the general understanding. You see, I have finished the row. Now I will start the next one. Here at the end of the row we have the last stitch, which I haven't finished yet. Yeah, so I take 1/2 loop on this side and 1/2 loop here. Here it is. They are very close one to the other, so be careful here, don't make a mistake. That's it. Now lifting chain and a new round. And so like this, you need to make several more rows, and then we will make our calculations. So I have now made several more rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5 actually. And you see it looks like a trapeze, yet slightly narrower. The first row is always wider and the last row is always slightly narrower, but we will be able to fix it when we make a wet heat. So it always happens when you work like this. So now I will measure it without the wet heat, just like it is. Now somewhere in the middle to get the middle size, yeah, not the narrower, not the wider part of it, like this. And so here I get 6.5, approximately 6.5 centimeters. So what do we do? Let's write down that for 10 stitches, or lifting chain we don't count yet, we have 10 stitches, so after it we get 6.5 centimeters. You will get your own number, it might be different from mine. Then X stitches, which we need for the bag, will be 13 centimeters. So we need 13 centimeters. So we multiply it like this. And 6.5 multiplied by X is 10 multiplied by 13. And so we get, as a result, 130 divided by 6.5. That will be 20 centimeters exactly. You may get another number, it's okay, yeah? Maybe it will be 19 or 21 or any number, because you will have different material, different gauge. It's okay if you have a different number here, but it is a number of stitches you need for 13 centimeter stitches. Yeah, that is 20 stitches. So to get 13 centimeters approximately, I need to cast on 20 stitches. Now I will cast on 20 and plus 1 lifting chain, of course, plus a lifting chain. And so like this, I will start making the first part of the bottom. Now I will repeat everything without explaining the pattern, so then you can continue working the first part for the bottom on your own. I will undo the sample because I can make a wet heat and use this raffia again. So when you undo something, you can make a wet heat. For ISP raffia, you can make a wet heat many times. It will be okay. Just be careful, don't tear it because it's so gentle. Try not to tear this material. Like this, I'll show you. Like this. And so you see it will be just as good as new after this. So, and again, I'll cast on the number of stitches I need here. 0 stitch and everything likewise. If you need, you can come back and watch the video again, how to cast on in every detail. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21 is a lifting chain. Count the stitches, make sure that you have made 21 chain. And so like this, we turn it with the back half loops towards us and start making single crochets, like this. This way. And so like this, you continue working. Into back half loops. This is the first row for the bottom. I will work a little bit together with you, and then you can continue working on your own the same to make the length that you need, 37 centimeters. So let's meet at the end of this row and make a transition to the next one. So here, don't forget that if you lost where the back half loop is, you can turn it, see the braid, turn it back, and see where the half loop is. It's here, before this knot on this side, see? Grab this working thread and make last stitch. Now you will get the number of stitches you cast on, not counting the lifting chain. Make a lifting chain, turn your work, and we will measure it slightly later because now it's too early. We need to make at least 4 rows, and after this count the width of the piece. So now we start making the first row of parallel stitches or thicker single crochets, like this. So work several rows more, and then we will meet and make our measurements. If it is okay, then you continue. If you see that this time maybe you had a different gauge, so maybe you'll need to change something, then you'll have to undo it and start again. Or you'll just slightly change the size of the bag. It can be different, yeah, but if you make a different size of the bottom, it will influence, it will affect, yeah, the size of the bag as well. So work several more rows. Working the same pattern as we did it on the sample. So I decided to make a stop at the end here so that you can have a look how I make the last stitch here. It's really difficult to see the last stitch. Again, pay attention. This is the last stitch that we need to make. And so here are these loops where we have to, it's slightly twisted, you see? So it's easy to mix it this way. Here it is. We need to make a loop and make this last stitch. Yeah, check the number of stitches, make sure that you made the right number of stitches. Then turn it horizontally like this, and again we see these half loops on both sides, and like this continue working. So let's work several rows. After this we will meet and take our measurements. So I have worked 3.5 rows. If we are looking from this side it is 4 rows. This upper half row will always look a little bit narrower, so we need to take our measurement somewhere in the middle to get the middle measurement, the right measurement here. And so I get 12.5 centimeters. If I now put it straight like this, slightly, yeah, 12.5, that's right. So just let me make sure. So I continue working like this because 12.5 will be okay. After I've made wet heat, it will be exactly 13. So for me, it is okay. If you have almost the same number that you need, half centimeter plus or minus is okay. In previous bag, I made 38 rows, and the length of this piece was 37 centimeters. So now we will make approximately 36 to 37 rows. 1 centimeter more or less is okay, and then we will measure it, whether it will be okay for the bottom. Then we will measure it again. So here, for example, I have 4 rows, and now the length is 4 centimeters so far. Like this. Continue working back and forth, same pattern. And then we will meet when you have made 36 or 37 centimeters. Then I'll show you how to make a trimming around, and that will be it. Yeah, that will be it. The first part of the bottom will be ready. So the second one will be worked likewise, and then we'll sew them together. So that's how we're going to work. So I have already made the first part of the bottom made of raffia. So now it starts twisting like this, but it is absolutely okay. Don't pay attention to this. Will be okay. So I have made 36 centimeters, and yeah, the width is 13. And now, without cutting anything for the time being, I will make a lifting chain and make the last row. We need to close this row, this half row, so that it looks fine. So now we are going to work with the slip stitches. Likewise, we are working in both half loops on the parallel rows, this lower one and upper one, and make a slip stitch. You pull the loop on the hook, again insert the hook, make a loop, likewise make a loop here and pull it through the loop on the hook at once. You see, not a single crochet, but a slip stitch. Slightly different. So like this, you will get a really nice roll. And then you don't have to cut the thread because we'll be making the trimming. We will also count the rows. You don't have to, but so that you have approximate understanding how many rows I have made. So go on working this row, making slip stitches. And so you will get such a nice trimming on the side. Like this. And the last one. also. As to the rows, here, first, second, third, fourth, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. You see, I had to make 40 rows here. In wine color bag, previous one, I had 38 rows, slightly less. So now the trimming. Here you find the stitch where you have finished. You don't cut the thread, make a lifting chain, and now you start working along the longer edge. We need to make a trimming. For this, we insert the hook under this one. You see the horizontal chain, and grab working thread, make a loop slightly longer, make a single crochet as always. Oops, just a second. Yeah, a single crochet. Now into the same opening we make one more single crochet. So at the corners we are going to make such increases. So then we pierce opening between the rows, where you see it will be handy to insert the hook. So now I'll show you, because here the trimming is going to be rather thick. So we insert the hook into the next opening. That is actually the opening between the rows. You see these half loops, so before this half loop you insert the hook and make a loop. Then you make the next right into this half loop, yeah, into the row. That is the next row. Yeah, here you find the opening and make a loop so that you can make a single crochet. Then again you insert the hook between two rows in front of this half loop on the side. So you see these half loops on the side. We make one stitch into the row where the half loop is, one between the two rows. And so like this. You see, kind of between the rows, you can see the line clearly here between those rows. And here. Then again before the half loop between the rows, and then into the row, right? So we get such a tight trimming, a thick trimming, I should say. And like this we go on working in the round. So go on working till the corner, then I'll show you how we move on. So now that we have reached the corner, we need to make one more stitch here, this way. In the corner, we will, here, I mean, these are the half loops where we're going to work. So the corner is here. So the free end we will fix later. So now we insert the hook into the corner, into the first on this side. So here we need to make 3 single crochets into the corner. Make 1, then into the same one. Make 2, and into the same one make 3. So to make a nice corner we make 3 into 1, and then we just insert the hook into each of these half loops. You can even make it into several half loops. It will be better, perhaps even better. So into each one make one single crochet, and like this you go on working till the corner. At the corner again we will make 3. And we have reached the next corner. Here again we make 3 into 1. 1, 2, and 3. Then at this side we have slightly different pattern. So here again we'll be doing the following. We have such vertical half loops, kinda longer loops, and we insert the hook under, slightly deeper, yeah, under these half loops, and make a stitch here. And then we have such openings between the rows here, and we make one stitch here. So you see kind of between the 2 rows into this horizontal one. So although now it looks like a vertical rather than horizontal. Then I have a long one here, so we make a stitch slightly deeper into it, so that here we can make a stitch. And then again, right after this one, here it is slightly diagonal. You can see here, this level. Then again, here we have a longer one, so we make under it, and here likewise. So the main thing here is to make a lot of stitches, yeah, because you have to make such a dense trimming, not just sparse stitches. That's why I try to make as many as I can. Then I'll tell you how we are going to continue working with the pattern. Now just make this trimming. So now just repeat after me the trimming with single crochets. And so like this we're going to work until the end, when we have worked all the piece in the round. And now this will be ready. And the last side, here we pierce it through here or here. This way it's also easy. And make a stitch. Then we have a corner. Remember that here at the corner we insert the hook into the first stitch of this row. And here we also try to grab the back half loops. This one. This row we don't use, we use the upper one. And yeah, here make a stitch, and here into the same one make 2 more. At the corners we make 3 single crochets into 1, right? And then into each one making a stitch slightly deeper into the half loop here. So usually it's easy to find the place. Yeah, this is a lower row we don't touch, and work and only into the upper. Here you can work into several half loops, so you don't have to use only one. You can make several. Again, I'll try to show you, zoom in. Here you just have to work on this side so that you leave this lower row. You see there is such a neat row of horizontal half loops. You don't grab it, you work above it. You see here. Oh, actually, yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Here into each stitch we are making one single crochet. At the end we will close this round of trimming and we'll have the first piece ready, and then I'll show you how we glue and hide the free ends, because this bigger bag is going to be without the lining. You need to hide the free ends really neatly so that they are not visible at all. That's why here we'll have to pay attention to this. So here we reach one of the wonderful last. Here I already have, let me see, actually here we have already worked 2 into this, but I think I'll leave it like this. I'm not going to make the third here. Here we don't count the stitches. Here the most important thing is visually fine edge. Leave about 10 centimeters here, cut it, and make a full slip stitch to close this round. So to make a full slip stitch we need to find the first horizontal stitch here where we have started, and into it we insert the hook back to front this way, grab the free end and return it back here. And then we need to return this exactly into the place where we have started, so we have closed it in the round. For this, we'll insert the hook here, like this, upwards, and pull that free end. And so the first piece is ready for the bottom. Now, how to hide the free ends? This is going to be the right side here where we were making the trimming, and the trimming is with its right side facing us. Yeah? Here we see the braids, not the back side. Now, the wrong side is going to be this. So we need to pull the raffia like this. You can use a smaller crocheting hook, and I even recommend you to use a smaller crocheting hook. I'll take 3 millimeters, and I'll take some glue. Cut the end so that I have approximately 1.5 centimeter, perhaps even. Then I add a little bit of glue to it. And as here we need to hide it completely, we need to put it into some of the stitches like this. So we need to not only to glue it on top, we glue it inside. We glue it and push it inside so that it will stay put there inside the stitches. So like this, you need to hide all the free ends. Here I will show you, and then you will know how to deal with the free ends. I'll show you how to deal with a cord separately, because that's a slightly different thing. So now it is important not to glue it close to the edge. You need to pull the end slightly deeper into it, because we're going to work the stitches at the edge, going to pierce it with a hook, so you don't want to disturb this, yeah, to destroy what you have glued with next layers. Like this. And like this, I will just use the other side of the hook to push it into the stitches like this. And that's it. Just leave it for some time, let it dry. So I will measure the width. It is almost 14 centimeters and 37 centimeters in length. So we need to make the second piece exactly the same as this one. Hide the ends. Then we will make a wet heat and then prepare the canvas to join it all together. When you have made both pieces, for the bottom you have hidden and glued all the free ends. Now we need to make a wet heat so that they are flat, absolutely even, and they stop twisting like this. If they are wider or narrower than you want them, you can also check it at this point. So use your iron or a steam generator like this. When it is soaked in steam, you can adjust it with your hands if need be. And then you let it dry. And likewise the second one. So now it is ready and we can continue. It's slightly easier to work with a cord because you don't have to prepare it like raffia, yeah? You don't have to make a wet heat and it will be worked faster just because it's thicker, so you will get the result quicker. So if you are a beginner, I recommend you to start with a cord, not with a raffia, so that you can start with something slightly easier in this case. The bottom made of cord is going to be made with ordinary single crochets without thicker option, yeah, without making them thicker. So here we're going to make just single crochet, so we don't need to make it thicker in this case. It will be thick enough. But again, first we use the sample. Yeah, first we make the sample so that we can measure it, calculate, and find how many stitches you need for the bag. So first we need to cast on short end on top of the long end. Fix this, hold it with my thumb, insert the hook upwards. I'm going to use 3.5 millimeters crocheting hook. Grab the working thread like this and make the first chain. This chain is not counted, it's preparative chain. And now we cast on 10 chain plus 1 lifting chain for the sample, like this. Insert the hook upwards, grab the working thread and make a loop. 1, 2, 3. Pay attention that if working with raffia we were working loose, here it's better to tighten them slightly more than you were tightening the raffia. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's it. Count the stitches, make sure you have 10 plus 1 lifting chain. We don't count this knot again. Start counting the braids here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 a lifting chain. So we have 11 in total. And then we start making single crochets into the upper half loop. So skip this one and insert the hook into the next one, into the upper half loop, insert the hook, grab the working thread and make a stitch. 2 loops on the hook now, and we work them together, and that is a single crochet. So like this we are going to work all the stitches, inserting the hook into the upper half loop, grab the working thread, 2 loops on the hook, make a single crochet, 2 loops on the hook, make a single crochet. So the next one, likewise, into the upper half loop we insert the hook and make a loop, then make a single crochet, 2 together. It is the easiest stitch actually. Single crochet, it's very simple, but it is so versatile. And so like this we need to make single crochets in every stitch, don't skip any. Insert the hook into the next one and the next one, and so on. The next one, likewise. So this way. Go on working rather tightly, don't make loose stitches here. I have reached the end. Here I have just one more to make. Let's make it together. So here is the knot, insert the hook into the last one, and likewise make the last single crochet. Lifting chain we don't make. Now count, you'll get 10 stitches. You can count them on the upper braids here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And don't count this one. Now you can make a lifting chain, turn your work, and make the same single crochets, but not into the upper half loop, but into the full braid. Yeah, you see those 2 half loops on top are your upper braid. Yeah, so work it into both half loops. Here on this side it looks this way. Actually, yeah, here. And make a stitch. Work tight. Not very tight, but somewhat tighter. So don't have to make it over tight, but we need to get the rather stiff bottom. It will be enhanced by the canvas, of course. And so like this we make a sample. Several more rows back and forth so that you can measure into every single one. So in each row you'll have the same number, 10 single crochets. So when the last 2 here, make the one before the last, and the last one here you've inserted the hook, grab the working thread and make this loop slightly longer. Yeah, the last single crochet can be slightly longer because the end of the rows are usually tighter, tend to be tighter. So if you make this loop slightly longer, you will be able to make your piece even on all the sides. Check again the number of stitches, whether you have the right one. Then again turn and continue working like this. On this side it looks like this. Here we insert the hook under these half loops. So for example, we will need several more rows. 3 I have already made. Okay, let's make 5 more. Then I'll show you how to count them. So I have almost made the 3rd round. Continue working rather tightly. I have no openings between the stitches due to the fact that I do not stretch upper half loops. Last one. And lifting chain, turn your work and make into every stitch. Make a single crochet like this. So go and work in several more rows like this, and then we will take our measurements and calculate how many stitches you need. Here I'm using 3.5 millimeters crocheting hook. Don't forget to make a lifting chain. So I have made 6 rows. I'll show you how I count them. Now it's easy to count them 2 by 2 because you see such segments. Here you can see 2 rows here, then next 2, next pair, and so on. Or 1, 2, 3, you can count them by 1 as well. So I've made 6 rows, and this makes 6.5 centimeters by 10 stitches. So that is the same which I had with raffia. If you didn't watch the raffia, here are my calculations. So our bottom has such a rectangular shape. It has to be 13 to 37 centimeters, 13 width and 37 length. So as we made 10 stitches, we don't count the lifting chain, we get 6.5 centimeters. So how many stitches do I need to get 13 centimeters? We can multiply this. Here the width is 13 centimeters. Yeah, so we multiply this as to the rule of proportion. I multiply x by 6.5 and multiply 10. 6.5 multiplied by x is the same as 13 multiplied by 10. So x will be 130 divided by 6.5 and it will be 20. So I need 20 stitches as well as I did for the raffia, plus 1 lifting chain, of course. So that I get the right width for the bottom, 13 centimeters, I'll need to cast on 20 chains plus 1 lifting chain and go on working like this rather tightly. So you may have your own number, so it's okay if you have a different number. If you have, for example, 19.5, you can round it either to 19 or to 20. You may get a little difference, half centimeter more or less. It's not obvious. You don't have to make it exactly the same size as I do. For this bag, it's not so important. So I'll undo the cord because I don't need the sample. It's okay to undo it and then use it again. And likewise, I will cast on 20 chains plus 1 lifting chain. Short end on top of the long one. Here I'm not going to tell you every single detail. You can watch the video with a raffia. And so cast on 20. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So that's with lifting chain, 21. Count again. Make sure that you will get the right number. Work the first row of single crochets into the upper half loops. and so each stitch, make into each chain, make a single crochet. Here you see the upper half loop, insert the hook and make 2 together. Again, insert the hook and make 2 together. And so try to keep the same gauge so that your stitches are all the same size and the piece is the same width. So let's work together a little bit, several rows, and then you can continue working on your own. Like this. Now I have almost finished this row, I mean. So here I already don't explain every stitch, you already know it. I have 3 left, 1, 2, 3. We don't count the knot. 1, 2, and here 3. Check, make sure that you have the number of stitches you cast on. I have 20, for example, without counting the lifting chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And the loop on the hook we don't count as well. So make a lifting chain and turn your work. And all the next rows we are working into both half loops. This we skip because it is a lifting chain and insert the hook into the first stitch here, make a single crochet, and so like this continue working into both half loops till the end of this row. Like this, work back and forth with single crochets every single row. So at the end of the second row, here it is the last stitch that we need to make. This one we make slightly tighter. We can make a longer loop so that we don't make narrower end. Here, check that you have the same number of stitches that you cast on, make a lifting chain, turn your work, and work all the rest rows like this, back and forth, back and forth. And here it's rather simple, just single crochets into each stitch, a single crochet. At the end, we always make a lifting chain for the next row. So let's work this row together, then make a lifting chain, and the next rows continue working till you get the length of 36 or 37 centimeters. In this lesson, we do not count the stitches or rows, we count the size. Yeah, what matters is the centimeters. So plus or minus half centimeter will be also okay. It will be much easier for you to work this back like this without counting the rows. This loop shouldn't be loose, so this loop is slightly tighter. And in general, try to work slightly tighter for the bottom. This is the last stitch. Make a lifting chain, turn your work. And by the way, you can already measure how many rows you have. Let me measure it like this. Here almost 13, 12 centimeters and 7 millimeters. So I continue. The width is okay, so now I need to get the length of 37 or 36 centimeters. The length will go this way, yeah? It will be, the more rows you make, the longer your piece will be. Like this. So continue working till you get 36 centimeters. That is the first part of the bottom. Then we will make trimming and likewise make the second piece. And then we'll add canvas and start making the sides. Go on working like this. So now I finish this piece. Now I'll show it to you. I'll show it to you how it looks like this. Here I have this piece. Let's measure it. Let's count the rows. 13.5 centimeters is the width, and it is okay. And the length is here 36 centimeters. Yeah, the width is slightly wider than in the previous bag that I've made. So it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. As I have said, half centimeter plus or minus is also okay. So then, as to the rows, so that you can approximately see how many rows I get, I will count pairs. You see, it's easier to count because you see them clearly. You have such stripes that you can see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. So I've made 32 rows. Multiplied by 2, that's 64. Yeah, 64 rows with single crochets. Make 36 centimeters. And now we will start making the trimming. So for the trimming, we stopped at the edge, at the corner rather, make a lifting chain, and now we need to insert the hook into the same stitch under this one. Yeah, you see where we have already made this chain, but actually let's have a look so that we don't get a hole. Yeah, the most important thing is not to get a hole here, so I can insert here, then one, and into the same opening once again one more single crochet, and then we will work along this longer side, and here you can see that we have openings between the rows. So we have an opening here, here, and here. So between each two rows, you have an opening where you can make a single crochet. Here it's easy to see. You have such opening here, you see, here, here. So now I'll show you. In each opening we are making one single crochet, like this. So this way we go on working. And so go on moving till the next corner. Then we will make a transition together. So now we have reached the corner. So now last two rows. This corner is slightly rounded, so it's difficult to see, but here between these two rows we still can see an opening, and right into the corner here also we can make a stitch here like this. 1, 2, 3, and now into each of this we make a stitch. You can see this openings and make a stitch into each one like this. Go on working tightly. And then next to the corner here we have such a knot which we could undo. But if you were making the 0 stitch as I did, otherwise don't undo it if you start unraveling everything. So just if you did the first stitch as I did, you can undo it so that you don't have that knot. Yeah. So leave this free end, we will sew it, or you will be able to glue it. And likewise, we work between the rows here. In these openings where you see such a place where you can insert a hook, you insert it. Yeah. And so like this, we go on working till the end of this side. So here you just go on working single crochets. Yeah, we will meet when you need to make a transition to the next. And then I'll show you how to hide the ends. And after you have reached the next corner, last rows between them here, and the corner here, we see a braid. Yeah, you see 2 half loops of a braid. You have transition here, corner, and this braid. So you're making stitch already into this braid. So make 3 single crochets. Yeah, remember that at the corners we are making slightly longer stitches so that you have a nice corner. And the last row here is into the braids. Yeah, you see these braids, so it's really easy to see where you have to make this stitch. Really easy, like this. Go on working till the end of the row. And so now we have the last stitch here. And then I take this free end, cut it, and finish it with a false slip stitch into the first horizontal, one here, insert the hook, back to front, grab this working thread, and yeah, be careful here, because it's easy to break the polyester cord. So now you need to return this free end here into the stitch, right into the stitch where you have started, and pull it back. So now that's our first piece for the bottom, and we hide the free ends on the wrong side. This is the right side where you see the nice braid, and this is the wrong side, so we need to hide the free ends on the wrong side and pull it here through carefully, like this. Pay attention that we do not pull it along the first row at the edge, because we'll need it. We don't want to make it super thick, because we will need it later. So this free end we can either sew, or we can burn it with lighter. For the bottom, I recommend you to burn it, because it's going to be hidden anyway. So it is okay to fix it with lighter, like this. You melt it, and then you just press it, and it will stay put. But again, you do this when you are sure that it is okay. You're not going to undo anything. So this will be hidden under the lining, and if you are working with a bag, then don't do this. Better sew it. So, and here I want to show you how I hide this. Also hide it not very close to the side, to the edge. So I don't cut it for the time being. I will take some thread in I have black thread, but you can use some matching color, it's also okay. You don't need even to make a knot, you just pierce it through several times back and forth, so that it is exactly here where the end is. Yeah, you have to pierce it several times and fix the thread like this. It gets entangled, so it will stay there, stay put. So especially you will need it when you will be sewing the handles, because we need to make it really carefully. Cut the excess thread and several more rows, then make a stitch here right into the place where you have cut it. This way. That's it. Now you don't need any knots here, so just cut it. It will stay put. That's it. So one piece is ready. And if you like, you can make a wet heat, but you don't have to do it, because when it is raffia, you really need to do this. And now when it is a cord, you see it is nice, flat, even, it's absolutely okay. So we'll make it slightly later. We could make it slightly later, and it will also be okay. Now I have 37 and 5 size by 14 and a half. So likewise make the second piece exactly the same, and then we'll continue. So now I have both pieces ready. For the bottom I have hidden all the free ends, and now we will start making the canvas, making the bottom with the canvas. Here I have both raffia and a cord. And for the bottom, I'm going to do absolutely the same. With raffia and the cord, it doesn't matter which material you are using. I'm going to show you the raffia, but if you're working with a cord, everything is going to be absolutely the same. So it doesn't matter which video you are watching. And then for bottom, we're going to use plastic canvas to make it thicker. It's an ordinary plastic canvas that you can find in any DIY store. It has a different size, so I buy it in such a roll. This way. And so now you need to cut the piece that you will need for your bottom. Yeah? The length and the width. So how to measure how much you need for this. Now let's take this piece in raffia and measure its width. Here I have 13 and a half to almost 13. Here I have 37 and half. So I need, if here I have 13 and a half, then I will need the canvas to be 12. So you need it to be slightly smaller than your piece. Here the canvas will be blank, so the canvas will be 36. So you make it 1 or 1.5 centimeters smaller than this piece, so that you can sew the plastic canvas inside. Here you can mark it with a marker, for example. Maybe it will be easier for you. So I'd like to measure it. Here I have 35. Okay, then I'll have to cut it from this side because there I don't have enough. Yeah, 36 here. And here I would either mark something. I have a marker at hand and yeah, mark it this way. 36 centimeters. And so here I'll need 12 centimeters. That's it here. So this piece of canvas I need to cut, and also pay attention that when you cut plastic canvas, you cut it between these lines, yeah, in the center. You cut it in the center. Then these teeth, so to say, we will be able to cut later. We'll be able to do something with them. Like this. So don't worry if now it is curved, just put it under something heavy and it will be flat. So when you use it in a bag, when you put it inside the bottom, it will be flat, it will be okay, don't worry about it. Now these teeth that you have here, you can cut them or you can leave them, it doesn't matter actually. It's going to be okay, because we will put it inside and it won't be visible. So if you want, you can cut it, just make sure that everything is nice and polished. Yeah. that's it. Now it's nice, so we can start sewing it together. And so we start sewing, and you can use this part of the video for raffia as well as for the cord. So this you will need slightly later when you have already sewn several sides. So we will start with a raffia or the cord, whatever you have chosen. So put canvas aside, and now we need to take two pieces for the bottom and put it like this, right side to wrong side. So this is one right side and this is the other right side on the outside. And we can start sewing at any place. I prefer to start somewhere next to the corner. As to the rows, you need to check that you have the same number of rows on both pieces. So you need to make sure that they are absolutely the same so that the rows are matching. So I will start somewhere here, approximately, let me count, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15, I will count 15th row here. And I insert it, also pay attention, only into this back, that is upper half loop. And I will count 15th row here as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15. Here, also insert it into the half loop that's closer to this one, yeah? Upper half loops. Maybe the one that's below is slightly wider, but it's okay. Several millimeters is okay. So, and then we take raffia. You have this fixed, two upper half loops, and you grab the working thread and pull it through the loop. Now this free end can remain here. And the next one, insert the hook into the upper half loop here and into the upper half loop of the next stitch on the other side. Here. Everything is simple, just make a stitch. I'm making slip stitches, you see. If it happens that you have one or two stitches more or less, then you can skip one, yeah, like skip one on one side and go on working. It won't be visible at all, so it's not a big deal. So, and like this, you go on working and we get such a neat, nice seam along the edge. Go on working till the corner like this, then we'll show you how to go along the corner, and then you just continue, and I'll show you how to insert the plastic canvas, and actually it will be ready. Go on working till the corner, then I'll show you. So here at the corner I have last stitches to make, 1 and 2, and here we turn it like this. Just continue, so nothing special, just continue working slip stitches and go on working like this till you have made several sides. Like this, go on working. Then meet when you have a little bit left so that you can insert the canvas, and that will be it. So here I have already made 2 sides, and now you can already put the canvas inside like this, like into a pocket. insert it. Make sure you have put it right. So now here I even see that perhaps I'll need to cut one row because not enough place to sew it. I can cut one row and it will be easier to sew it. So you have to try it on. It's okay. I will cut one line this way. And so I continue sewing it all the way around till I have sewn it completely. Now, when I have almost finished, several stitches left, let's make together 1 and here you see, by the way, I have 1 stitch left, and on this side I have 2 stitches left, so I'll skip one and make a stitch into the next one. It will be okay. Make a stitch, pull the loop here, make a nice false slip stitch, adjust the stitches here, insert it this way here, and grab this and return it back like we're making a false slip stitch right into the stitch where you have started making it. So this is the bottom, it's ready. Now it may be slightly puffy, but it will be flat. Yeah, if you put it under something heavy or start using the back, it will be thinner. So this is our right side and this is our wrong side, or the outside. This is the outside, yeah, which is going to be on the bottom. So we're going to work the sides here into these braids. So now you need to hide this free ends carefully and yeah, hide them together. You can hide them either on the other side or on the inside, it doesn't matter. So we'll hide them anyway. You just need to insert the hook like this. Slightly further from this side, yeah, so that you can hide them inside. Maybe slightly more. And then I cut the ends. Take a little bit of glue, apply it to these ends. This way, and then I need to push it back inside and press it so that it will be glued inside. Like this. So the bottom is ready. Now we can measure it this way. I get 38 by 14.5 centimeters. That is if we put it like this, if the braid is here. If we put it on the other side, here it is slightly narrower, yeah, because the braid isn't here. It will be several millimeters smaller. So put it this way, and then we can start making the sides. Also, likewise, we make the bottom if you're working a bag in cord. It's absolutely the same. And then I'll show you two bottoms. We'll compare the number of stitches, the size, and then we can continue working the pattern. Pattern is going to be absolutely the same for raffia and for the cord, but the first row is going to be slightly different, so you have to watch for the either option that you have chosen, raffia or the cord. I'll show you everything in detail. So here I have two bottoms, this one in cord and this one in raffia. Cord and raffia. And as to the size, let's see. The blue one we have already measured. Now let's measure this one. Here we have 38 by 15. You see, this one is slightly bigger than the raffia. There I had 14 in width. So now the pattern will start with raffia and then cord. Then as to the number of stitches of the trimming, and as to the stitches around in the round of both pieces. Here in the raffia we count these braids you see on the side. At the very edge there is such a braid, and so we counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on. You need to count your stitches so that you know how many stitches you have to make in the round. I have 188 stitches here, and here bottom I have 166. As I have already said, doesn't matter the number of stitches, the main principle is the same, but I'll show you the first row in both variants so that you know which one to choose, depending what you have chosen, raffia or the cord. So keep watching.